How many times might a person flee from their country? For me, it happened twice. Once when I was a child, and second time as a father. I was 6 years old living with my parents in Kabul. Life was full of love and joy for me. Sometimes we hear the sound of explosion, but I had no idea what was going on. One day I was sitting at home playing with my toys, and my mother was cooking at the kitchen, which I heard a sound like a jet is flying near our house. But suddenly our house shook strongly like an earthquake. All the windows in our home broke. I was shocked for a while, and my mother took me out of the house. It was not a jet or an explosion, but it was a rocket with heat near to our house. Civil war started in Afghanistan when Mujahideen took power in Kabul, and it was not safe longer for us. My parents decided to flee, but where? They decided to Iran, because they thought as an Islamic country we would have the basic human rights there. They have the same language and culture, and it's easier for us to integrate, find a house, job, and most importantly, it's near to Afghanistan, and we can come back when the war finished. This journey to the Iran is the worst memory of my life. Long, dangerous, horrible way with armed smuggler, without enough food and water, and shooting of the police at the border. I was so tired, so scared. I remember I wanted to cry near to the border, but the smuggler put a hand on my mouth and said, if you cry, the police may hear you and find us. Anyway, we arrived in Iran, and that time I was 7 years old. And my mother wanted to enroll me to the school, but the principal of the school said that your son have no right to study here. My mother looked at me and asked why. He said that the decision is not up to me, and I cannot do anything for that, sorry. Every day I was standing outside of the home, watching those children which were going to the school, and I was only crying. As a child, I had no idea what does it mean to be a refugee. But that time I understood if you leave your home, your country, you are not equal with the other people, and you have not right like studying. And that time I had a dream, and I wanted to go back to my country, to meet my friends, to start school with them. But that time it was not possible. We experienced very tough and hard life in Iran. My parents worked so hard, but was so upset and worried about our future. I remember sometime my father came home after work and was so sad. And we knew that the employer didn't pay it, because they know as a refugee you cannot claim, and if you do, they blame you. But to be honest, later on I found many nice and good friends in Iran, but nowhere is your homeland. In 2000, we returned back to Afghanistan when the Taliban regime fell. Like a family who come back from a long, horrible journey. We had no staffs to take with us, Al-Sir, because we were waiting for the moment for a long time. When we arrived in Kabul, our house was destroyed, like the entire of Kabul city. All our stuffs were stolen, but we were so happy. Like a bird out of the cage, we could feel the freedom. Now we have right, like the other people, to study, to work, to do what man will. But most importantly, nobody judge by your name, nationality, or skin color. You're equal. The feeling that I missed so much now. But I couldn't find my friend, and I don't know what happened to them. I started school, and after school, I started university, And after graduation, I could find a very good job. As a young generation, it was our responsibility to rebuild our country, and I did my best. And later on, I fell in love and decided to marry. And the result of this marriage was a child. Now I have my own family, my own car, house, new friends. The life that I worked so hard for that. And everything's perfect. And everything was perfect until the security situation became worse. Dangerous people threatened to kill me because of working with Americans. Every day I took different way to my work to avoid being attacked. Several of my closest friends were killed. I had no choice. Stay and die or flee one more time. But this time I know what does it mean to be a refugee. But as a father, I decided to flee, to save my family, to save my child. At middle of the night, I left my home without knowing which time I will be able to come back. And at the blink of eye, from professional, financial, and happy family to refugee. It was so hard. When I arrived in Sweden, I not welcomed here. And I faced discrimination here also. My neighbor thought that I came for better life here, but never asked me and avoid to talk with me. But now I'm here to share my history with you. That we are the survivor of war. I have no home to go back to. If I would have or could have, no one wants to leave his home. To come to new country, learn new language, struggling for finding house, and trying to be a good father to his children. Now once more time, I'm doing my best to start from the zero, to rebuild my good life to my children. Right now, which I'm standing here, thousands of Afghan girls have no right to study in Afghanistan. And millions of women have no right to work. And it reminds my childhood. And one more time, I have a dream. That one day be able to go back to my country, to rebuild it again. One more time, I have a dream that all the children in the world have right to study and at least have the basic human rights. Thank you so much.